is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
Pitching has been at the head of the class so far in this series, and Oakland starters have posted A's in the first two games. Today, the Indians go back to school on offense before their big test in Texas. And Trevor Bauer looks to ace this exam for win number 10. The first bell is about to ring, and the Tribe cannot afford to be tardy against Kendall Graveman. Class is now in session. Next on Sports Time Ohio. It is a beautiful afternoon in Northern California as the Cleveland Indians try to take 2 out of 3 from the Oakland A's here at the Coliseum and get out of town with a series win. Hello again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Winning the series, though, will not be easy. Paramount to the Indians' chances are getting the offense back on track. They've been put on a slump by this Oakland pitching staff.
Well, that home run right there by Carlos Santana enabled the Indians to get one win because of a well-pitched game. But other than that, Chris Gimenez hit a solo home run. That's all they've done in this series so far. 19 strikeouts. They don't have a hit with a runner in scoring position. They were swinging the bat so well before coming here, but to win today, they're going to have to try and settle against Kendall Graveman.
And they're going to need another good pitching performance from Trevor Bauer. Hopefully he can keep them in it early, something Danny Salazar could not do in last night's ball game. We'll be back with today's first pitch between Cleveland and Oakland coming up next. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Today's telecast of the Indians and the Athletics is being televised on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. Welcome in Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, and Andre Knott here at the Coliseum in Oakland, California. It's the rubber match of today's three-game series. Francisco Lindor has played more games than anybody on the Cleveland Indians ball club this year. He is not in the lineup today. With more on that, we go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, Matt, you hit on it first and foremost. He's played more games than anyone else on the team. Basically, Terry Francona's been trying to find a day over the last 4 days to give him a day off. Finally today, he said, Francisco, take today off. With the heat coming in Texas, it'll be a good day to get him a day off. He's got no problem with how he's played and how he's gone about it. He just knows with this long stretch of games that the Indians have had, he's trying to get everybody a day off or get them a couple days off their feet as he can. So today is Francisco Lindor's day to take a rest from the playing in the game.
Well, that's why they call it managing. You've got to manage your people and try to keep them fresh for the stretch run.
That'll be just fine. They've been through quite a stretch of playing without days off, so he could certainly use one.
The Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona today brought to you by Progressive. Carlos Santana will lead it off, then Jason Kipnis, followed by Jose Ramirez, who's batting .352 in the month of August. Mike Napoli, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Brandon Guyer in the middle. Then it's Tyler Naquin, Roberto Perez, and in for Lindor at shortstop, Michael Martinez batting ninth.
Hyundai starting pitcher for the A's, Kendall Graveman. He's been very good, 8-2 over his last 15 starts. After he started out the year just 1-6 in his first 9. Sinker ball pitcher and a lot of ground balls.
He's into the line, and we're underway. A first pitch strike to Carlos Santana.
12:37.
And he threw it by him. Good fastball at 94. And it count quickly 0-2. Missed inside.
Graveman started against the Indians July 29th in Cleveland, went 6 1/3, 6 hits. He got the loss, but the bullpen gave up a couple of inherited runners. He was pitching a gem until an error happened in the 7th inning. Santana hit a home run off him to get him on the board in the 6th.
Santana's only home run in this series, or his only hit, was a home run in this series. That came in the opener, and it came in the 8th inning of a scoreless game as the Indians would win it 1-0.
Boy, Graveman wanted this one, huh? There it is in our Nissan pitch tracker right there. Santana caught a break.
Fouls that back. Count stays 2-2. Santana with 27 homers on the year, 2 behind Mike Napoli for the team lead in that category. A's have the big shift on, 3 to the right side. And he pops it up to the left. And we've got one away.
Let's set that Oakland defense for you now that we have an opportunity. Healy, who made that catch, will be at third. But Eibner is in left, Smolinski in center, Valencia over and right, Healy at third, Pinder at short, Muncy is at second, Alonso is at first, Vogt doing the catching.
Alan Porter has the plate this afternoon. Clint Fagan at first, crew chief Brian Gorman at second, and Mark Carlson down at third. Jason Kipnis looks at a first pitch strike. He's 1 for 8 in the series with a double. Over his last 40 games, Kipnis has hit .338. He has scored 31, driven in 21. Right back up the middle. Muncy, the second baseman, will throw him out. 2 down. The keys to the game are courtesy of Wayside Furniture. Offensively, the Indians have been stifled in the first 2 games of the series.
Number 11.
Looking to break out the bats, and for Trevor Bauer, keep the ball down in the strike zone.
Yeah,
something that Danny Salazar had a trouble with last night.
He sure did. And the Indians with only 11 hits in the first 2 games of the series.
Only 4 hits last night. And the only man to reach second base was Chris Gimenez, who hit a home run to get the Tribe their lone tally on the scoreboard. Even Jose Ramirez, as hot as he has been shut down 0 for 7. Not now. He gaps that one. And it'll go to the wall. Ramirez will have at least a double, and he will stop there with a 2-out 2-bagger, his 32nd double of the year.
Which is a team high. Yeah, he's able to get down and get this pitch and drive it into the gap in right center field. That ball stayed right there, though. It stayed middle in. That was one of the pitches he made a mistake with, and Ramirez made him pay.
Told you he's been hot. 352 batting average in the month of August. The heat miser said after the All-Star break, my hair is orange. And it is indeed. He has been phenomenal, and I think in a lot of people's minds, not just you and I, but he has been the Indians MVP this year and literally came out of nowhere to do it.
Yeah, he's done anything and everything he's been asked to do.
Mike Napoli.
Ouch.
That got him. And Napoli trying to shake it off as he goes down to first. They'll come out and have a look at him. See where this got him. Looked like it might have got him on the rib cage, huh?
It looked like it. Right there. He was trying to stay in on him, of course, with first base open. It ends up going in and hits him.
Whatever Terry Francona said to him made him laugh as he turned and headed back to the dugout. So Napoli's aboard. 2 on, 2 out. And Lonnie Chisenhall to the plate. I don't know what he said to him, but you can see Napoli turn and laugh. Last night, Lonnie Chisenhall scorched a ball and was absolutely robbed in center field by Jake Smolinski. It was a sensational catch. Hate to use any kind of hyperbole, but it might have been one of the best catches of the year. In fact, Bob Melvin said afterwards, he goes, I didn't think he had any chance to catch it.
I don't think anybody in the ballpark did.
This will be an easier play for one of the outfielders. It's going to go to left, and Eibner, fighting the sun, holds on to end the inning. No runs a hit, 2 left. The A's are coming to bat when we come back. San Francisco, California. Today we are in Oakland. And the A's starting lineup presented by Spitzer Automotive. For Bob Melvin, it will be Jake Smolinski leading it all. Danny Valencia moves into the 2-hole. Stephen Vogt will bat third. Chris Davis with 33 homers on the year bats cleanup. Yonder Alonso is fifth. Ryan Healy batting sixth. Then it's Brett Eibner, Max Muncy, and Chad Pinder. Three left-handed bats in the lineup today for Oakland against the righty Trevor Bauer, and the first pitch to Jake Smolinski is ball one. Smolinski has 2 hits and 9 at-bats in the series. Comes in riding a 6-game hitting streak.
Hit second in the first 2 games of this series. Now into the leadoff spot.
Coco Crisp started the first 2 games of the series and was the leadoff man. Had 3 hits in those first 2 games, but gets the day off here this afternoon. The 1-2 offering just missed the outside corner. Right back at him, but behind the bag, Jason Kipnis is there to throw him out. That ball sent Bauer to the deck.
It sure did. Chuck and duck, and he did that right on the mound. Boy, he got down in a hurry. A line drive. It's going to come right back up the middle, but they had him play. That was a headshot. He got down. That's like being a hitter in the batter's box. You see it coming, and he gets out of the way, but Kipnis able to make the play to get the first out. That's something when you hit a ball like that. It looks like it's going right up the middle, and it's an at-bat.
Danny Valencia looks at a big curveball for strike one. Valencia did not start in the series opener, but he did come on for a pinch hit appearance in the 9th and struck out. He has made 7 consecutive starts with multi-hit games, though. 2 for 5 last night with a double. Right field. Late break by Chisenhall. He reaches down and snared it just before it hit the turf.
Don't know if he got a good read on that ball.
I think he thought maybe it was going to carry a little bit more than what it did. And it was probably off the end of the bat.
Yeah, you can see it's sinking, but he's able to make up some ground, come in and make this, pick it up before it hits the ground. Doesn't matter how you get it, just catch it.
Bauer appreciates the D behind him, and there are 2 down as Stephen Vogt steps to the plate. Sat out last night's ball game. He was 0 for 4 in the opener.
Let's look at the Honda starting pitcher for Trevor Bauer for the Indians, making his 21st start, coming off a career high 13 strikeouts in his last start against the Toronto Blue Jays, and winning 2 out of his last 3 starts. He's pitched well. 6-2 on the road.
Almost exactly a month ago, 5 days difference, that he faced these A's back in Cleveland, and he only made it through 5 1/3 innings. Over 100 pitches.
Yeah,
they didn't exactly tee off on him, but they did touch him for 3 runs on 5 hits, couple of walks.
He was matched up against Graveman in that ball game, and yeah, you're right. He left trailing 3-0, and they came back to win that game, but they got him off the hook.
Fouled back on the 2-2. Threw it by him. Good fastball, and the inning is over. The A's go 1-2-3. We're scoreless after 1 in Oakland. inning. And Brandon Guyer leading off against Kendall Graveman takes a called strike. Two quick strikes on Guyer. Guyer walked and doubled last night before being lifted for a pinch hitter. Taps one right back to Graveman. One away.
Well, Kendall Graveman in his last start against the White Sox was, boy, on point. He was outstanding. Shut him out, and you can see the control. He's been his control has been much better lately. He's got great movement on his pitches. I mean, that ball is not straight. That sinker slider. You can see 98 pitches in his complete game, 2-hit shutout with no walks and 5 strikeouts. Pretty good day's work right there.
Tyler Naquin looks at a strike. If that video showed us anything, it was the severe movement late on those pitches. Tough to square it up. Naquin went around. It's quickly 0-2.
That's the little slider down in the end. You know, he's like your sinker ball pitcher. He gets working. He works quickly. Doesn't get off the mound. So far, 4 0-2 counts.
Back out of play. Tyler Naquin hit .338 in the month of June, .348 in the month of July. And Terry Francona said, look, nobody expected this kid to hit .350 for the whole year.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
He has cooled off a little bit here of late. Last 18 games batting just .204.
Well, we'll probably get, what, 3 days off in Texas because it looks like we're going to get 3 left-handers in that series.
Well, the one thing about Tyler is he may not start those games, but Terry likes to use him maybe later in the game in a pinch hit situation.
Yes, indeed.
And the 2-2. Think about those 2 games that he was the hero in Cleveland on the homestand. He didn't start either one of those. Won the game against Chicago with a pinch hit sac fly, and then the inside the park home run against Toronto. Now the 2-2. Up high, he's worked the count full. And a high pop, shallow center. In comes Smolinski. And there's 2 down. Take a look at our player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. Kendall Graveman was one of those guys that it came in the Josh Donaldson trade. Ill-fated, if you will, if you're looking at it from Oakland's perspective. But they're hoping that Graveman can be a guy that is productive for years to come. And help maybe ease some of the pain from that
well,
deal.
You would certainly hope so, because they gave up a heck of a player. You hope you get something in return. And, you know, a lot of times people try and judge trades early. You know, when you get a young pitcher, and it takes pitchers a while to get acclimated to the big leagues. But if he comes out and he sticks around for a while, that's certainly something that they're hoping for.
I don't care who you are. You trade a guy that becomes a league MVP, you're going to hear about it.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And I mean, that's just not him. I mean, that started with Oakland trading Cespedes. If you remember, a few years before that, Brandon Moss came over to the Indians. I mean, they've unloaded a lot of good players.
The 1-1. Now, the year they made the deals to get John Lester and Jeff Samardzija, I mean, those are tough to criticize because they were going for it, and I understood, hey, they had an opportunity. They felt like they were bolstering their team for a deep run into October, and it just didn't work out. 1-2 pitch. Wow, he wanted that one, didn't get it. 2-2.
Just a little bit off the plate, as you can see. A teaser pitch right there.
That one nailed the catcher, Stephen Vogt. See where it got him.
Ooh, right off the top of the knee there. Didn't look like it got any padding, did it?
No, he got the leg and the shoulder and the
Yep,
bicep.
sure
maybe.
did. Double hitter.
Should have stayed in bed. Now the 2-2. And a full count. Michael Martinez would be next. The payoff pitch. Just a bit low, and Graveman has walked his first. There have been a few close ones here today.
Shortstop.
Well, and you know, he's been his control much better, where he's walked just 2 batters or fewer in 13 of his last 14 starts. So I mean, he's been around the plate. Those are pitches that maybe some hitters offer at. Perez able to take them.
Yeah, you look at Graveman's day by day. That's his 3rd walk of the month, and this is 5th start. Michael Martinez cuts and misses, and he quickly is in the hole. 0-2. Michael just 2 for 15 since coming back to the Indians after he spent a little time with the Red Sox this year.
Well, he plays a little bit of everywhere, and he was able to give Kipnis a day off on the homestand at second base, and today it's given Lindor a day off at short.
And a ground ball right at the second baseman, Max Muncy. We'll go to the bottom half of inning number 2, scoreless in Oakland. Chris Davis to lead off for the A's. Davis last night in the first inning hit his 33rd home run of the season. That's the most by an A's player since Jack Cust. He hit 33 back in 08.
You remember him? They came out and that just came out of nowhere to have that kind of year. And there he was. Last night, first inning, 3-run homer off Danny Salazar, and that was all Oakland needed at that point, but they continued to pile on.
Davis 2 for 8 in the series with that homer and 6 strikeouts. But he's among the league leaders in hitting the long ball.
Well, he got Trevor Bauer back in Cleveland in his last start.
Trying to get him again. That goes deep to right. Chisenhall's back, and it's off the wall. And it bounces by him, and Davis will go all the way to third with a leadoff triple.
Well, that's his second triple. And boy, I'll tell you, he has very good power the other way. That's where he had a double last night. He hit the home run. You give him something straight and put it out over the plate, and he can shoot you the other way. Chisenhall went to go back. It went off the wall, and it ricocheted past him. And that's where Naquin had to come over and help him out, but not before Davis could get to third base. So the leadoff triple, and Oakland in a real good situation to get on the board here.
Yonder Alonso is the batter. Alonso in a prolonged slump, just 3 for his last 30 at the plate. Alonso trying to do what he did last night, which was get that run home from third. He did it with a sacrifice fly. And Bauer falls behind him 2-0. Take another look here.
He didn't challenge him. He went with a changeup there.
Yeah, it floats in for a strike. And a big hook. It's 2-2. Alonso commented so many times on how the Indians seem to really take advantage of hitting at home. High batting averages at home, struggling on the road. For Alonso, it's just the opposite. He's hit 290 on the road, but only 202 here at the Coliseum.
Nice pitch. Look at that. That's a comeback fastball. I don't know how you can call that a ball. It's like it looked like it came right back down the middle.
It is right down the middle.
I mean, how can you miss it? That's a perfect pitch. He followed it up 2-0 changeup through a nice curveball, and he has the comeback fastball, and he doesn't get the call.
Curveball, ball 4. So the A's have first and third with nobody out.
Let's check that Indians defense, brought to you by Jeep. It looks like this: Geyer in left, Naquin in center, Chisenhall is in right, Ramirez and Martinez on the left side, Gibna Santana on the right, with Perez doing the catching.
Ryan Healy to the plate. Boys, he had a series. 5 for 7 with a couple of doubles. Healy riding a 10-game hitting streak. And it takes a fastball for a strike. Coming off his first ever 3-hit game last night. Indians looking to turn 2 on the infield. With A's at the corners and nobody out. And a base hit in the left. The beat goes on for Ryan Healy. 11 straight games with a hit, and he gives Oakland a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he came back with the curveball, and it maybe had a little too much of the plate. And Healy swinging it well, stayed back on it, and there's one that stayed up mid-thigh, and he's able to hit it hard to left field. So Oakland will play from in front today, 1-0 for Healy, his 17th RBI, and still nobody out in the inning.
On the year, when Oakland scores first, they are 37 and 36. And a nice stop by Santana. The flip to Bauer, and they get the out at first. What a play by Carlos Santana. It appeared initially like that ball was going to be by him, but he had a terrific diving stop and then able to get up and flip it to Bauer to get the first out of the inning.
Very nice play. You can see how far he's off the line, and for him to smother that ball, if it gets by him, it's certainly a base hit and it's an RBI, but he is able to get there, and Bauer comes over and they get him by a half a step. Really a nice play all the way around, and that's the first out of the inning. So well done by Santana. Infield's going to come in now with the 1 out and try and cut off the run at home at the bottom part of this Oakland lineup.
Max Muncy. Left-handed hitter will get the opportunity to drive him in with the Indians trying to cut him off at the dish. Checks his swing and it's fouled off. A little low. Max Muncy, guys, moved around. He's made 11 starts in right field. He started a game at third base, and he's now made 14 starts, including today at second base. Broke his bat. It's going to drop for a hit. A run will score. Alonso is home. Healy stops at third. It's 2-0 Oakland. Just the 6th hit for Muncy in his last 39 at bats. But it gives Oakland a 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, he didn't get it very good. It went off the end of the bat. You could hear the sound. A little one hopper. So Naquin gets it in, hits his cutoff man, and they'll get their second run in and keep it first and third. So Bauer in desperate need of a ground ball double play to get out of this inning. And the A's looking to put a big crooked number on the board.
Chad Pinder, 1 for 7 in the series. Takes its high ball 1.
He got his first major league RBI in last night's game.
Pinder was a competitive balance pick by the A's 3 years ago. .280 career hitter in the minor leagues over 4 seasons. And they count 2-0.
Almost like he shortened up to bunt there. We'll see, man. They may put something on here with a play with 1 out.
He squares. It's high again, 3-0.
Safety, yeah, safety squeeze. Where you don't start your runner at third. He comes down the line looking for it. If the ball's put down in play, then he can come home. But Bauer hasn't thrown a strike yet, so there's no need.
taking all the way. It's 3-1. Now we'll see if he puts it back on. Ron Washington, third base coach, goes through the signs.
Well, you're thinking you get yourself a good pitch to hit. 3-1 count. You might as well sit and look for the fastball. Ninth place hitter. Why not?
Full count.
Threw it by him.
Should have put it on. Right field line drive. Chisenhall makes the catch. Tagging coming home is Healy. Here's the throw to the plate, and he is safe. Oakland leads it 3-0 as Pinder picks up his second big league RBI.
Well, he did a good job that time to at least get the ball in play. Hit a line drive. Chisenhall made a nice play to get to the ball and then make a good throw as he's stumbling. He got rid of it as quickly as he could, and it's a pretty accurate two-hop throw, but not before Healy comes in and scores the third run of the inning.
Back to the top of the order, and Jake Smolinski. And that's high, ball 1. Smolinski, despite the 6-game hitting streak coming in, has batted below 200 over his last 24 games. Almost grazed him, but it's 2-0. And a long inning for Bauer after he set him down 1-2-3 in the first.
I'll tell you where this inning changed for Bauer after the Davis triple. He had Alonso down and made a pitch on the inside part of the plate. He didn't get the call. He ended up walking him. And then it all started. Yeah, there's no doubt. He had it would have been 1 out, man on third, still no runs on the board, and it has fallen apart after that. You know, here you go. There it is. The 2-2 pitch, and then comes back with the curveball. I can see the curveball being a ball, but not that other one. 27 pitches in the inning now for Bauer.
Full count.
Yeah, you don't have to swing when you're behind 3-0. You got to make him get in the zone. He's got to throw 3 straight.
Muncy will be off at first. The 3-2 pitch is on its way and fouled back. First ever start in the career of Jake Smolinski in the leadoff spot. Again, the runner goes, and a line drive base hit. Muncy will go all the way to third, and the A's continue the inning with first and third and 2 out.
Well, it's been a common theme in this series, at least in yesterday's game and today. Everything is upstairs by the Indians pitchers. Callaway's going to come out and have a talk to Bauer. Watch. Up, up, up. Makes it so much easier for those Oakland hitters to get to it, take it the other way, or do what they want with it. Nothing. Very few pitches have been down in the zone. They have 4 hits in the inning. They did that a number of times last night. I think the first and the 8th inning they had 4 hits. Yep. Exactly. I mean, everything has been upstairs for this Indians pitching staff, and Oakland has taken advantage of it. Now, this is a team, they've been barely averaging over 3 runs a ball game offensively. Well, they have 3 in the inning. They have 4 hits, and they're not done yet.
No, because now you've got Danny Valencia, who has been swinging the bat very well. He hit it on the screws his first time up, but it was a line drive to Lonnie Chisenhall in right field.
That's what Oakland was able to do 3 different times last night. Put crooked numbers on the board. They did it early, right from the start in the first.
Runner's going to go to second base on the ball. It pops loose from Roberto Perez. So heads up, base running by Smolinski.
Yeah, I don't know if that ball bounced. It just looked like it squeaked out of the way of Perez. I'll give it a wild pitch, but I'll tell you what, he had to do a better job of just trying to keep that ball in front of him. Looks like he got a little too lazy there. So that runner will move up.
And a curveball in the dirt. 2-1. High pop should get him out of the inning. Santana coming in and overran the ball. Everybody is safe. 2-run score on the play, and it's a 5-run second for Oakland. Bauer is beside himself.
Well, it's a play that has to be made, no question. In comes Santana. He overruns it. It's a high, bright sky. I got to see, does he have glasses on? Is my question. It can be very bright here in day games. There's no clouds. There's blue sky. But he just overruns that ball. He does have his sunglasses on, whatever he uses. And they will give him a single, although that's I know. The play's got to be made. And they'll give him a single, and that means 2 RBIs.
That's ridiculous. Stephen Vogt is the 9th man to bat in the inning, and he pops one back out of play. That's an error if there's ever been an error in baseball. And Santana would be the first one to tell you that. No balls, 2 strikes. Jeff Manship already up in the Cleveland bullpen. Yeah, that's yanked foul on the right side. A long inning. Just got longer for Trevor Bauer. Three-run inning, you can kind of work around. A 5-run, that is a big hole now.
Well, and he's going to be on a 40-pitch inning as well here in the second. 9th man to hit is Vogt, who made the last out in the first inning. He's hitting again in the second. And Bauer is trying to stop the bleeding.
Now the 1-2. to foul off. That was the 40th pitch of the inning. That's down low, 2-2. Struck him out to end the inning. But Oakland scores 5 in the second. Five to nothing lead, and Trevor Bauer just frustrated right now.
And has every right to be. I mean, he did have a tough inning. A couple of calls didn't go his way. A play should have been made that was not, that allowed the last 2 runs. So it was overall a terrible inning.
Carlos Santana, who misplayed that pop-up that allowed the last 2 to score, will lead off here in the third. Santana starting his 3rd consecutive game at first base. Mike Napoli sat out the series finale against Toronto on Sunday in Cleveland, and then has served as the DH in all 3 games in this series. Popped out of play. And it's 2-2. Kendall Chase Graveman, 25 years old, out of Mississippi State University, was originally an 8th round pick of the Blue Jays. Easy play at first base for Yonder Alonso, 1 down. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Boy, the Dodgers, it's unbelievable how many injuries they've dealt with this year. Both Brett Anderson and Scott Kazmir to the DL. That's a huge injury for Baltimore. Their starting pitching has been thin as well. Chris Tillman.
He was the one starter that they had consistently all year.
Baltimore starting the day 2 games back in the AL East, behind Boston and Toronto, who are tied for the top spot.
How about the Dodgers? 27 guys on the DL this year.
It's the best DL money can buy. Upstairs, ball 1 to Kipnis to even the count. And he misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Kipnis shoots one a long way to left, but Brett Eibner is there to grab it. 2 away.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download the MLB.com at-bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Strike 1 to Jose Ramirez, who doubled with 2 down in the first inning, but was stranded there.
Graveman 11 out of 12 first pitch strikes now.
But you wonder how much more free and easy he's going to be with a 5-run lead, and he thought he was headed to the dugout, and Alan Porter's got people scratching their heads on both dugouts now.
Well, watch the movement, watch the comeback. He better poke a hole in that mask because he's not seeing everything.
I mean, if it hits the catcher's glove and he's sitting right behind the plate. Ramirez shoots one to center field. That will drop for a hit. It had Smolinski kind of in between on what to do. And so he'll reach with the 2-out single.
Well, and 2 hits, both of them off the bat of Jose Ramirez. So he gets an extra strike in this at-bat and takes advantage of it. He's got to put that ball more on the plate, and he gets it into center field. So today Ramirez a double and a single, and that's been it for the Indians.
Well, Mike Napoli was hit by a pitch his first time up. Napoli sends a high fly ball to center field. Smolinski is there, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit, a man left. Middle of the 3rd, Oakland 5, Cleveland nothing. Cold one today to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Chris Davis will lead off. He tripled and scored in the second. That one's right at Jason Kipnis. And there's one away. Our great clip of the game was Trevor Bauer's last start against Toronto. And he was sensational in that start against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, career high 13 strikeouts. Had it all working.
You know, you talk about how the complete game is kind of becoming an extinction among pitchers nowadays. So for a guy to get that deep into the ball game, you have to be efficient. And what Bauer did in that game was 73% of the batters that he faced were 4 pitches or less.
There you go.
And if you're, if you're getting them out as opposed to them hitting you all over the yard, if you can do it on 4 pitches or less, you've got a chance to get deep in the game.
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen consistently for many guys.
That's true.
Yonder Alonso walked and scored in the third.
You know, you average 15 pitches an inning, and that'll give you 8 innings if you get to about 90 pitches in there. But that's being efficient every inning, or you can't have it. He's already had over a 40-pitch inning in this start, so.
Yeah, you can overcome a 20-plus inning and maybe get yourself still deep into the game if you make up for it along the way somewhere, but you've got to stay around 20 or less every inning if you're going to be around late.
Well, and that's if hitters put it in play. That doesn't include foul balls where guys, they're so good at fouling off pitches now and make you throw more pitches.
Now Bauer's walked Alonso for the second time today. Let's go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, as you guys talk about this, it's funny you bring it up because the one thing that Bauer said after his last start is like, well, as I want. And it seems over the last few starts, he was starting to understand the less pitches out there early, the deeper I can go into the game. Not that he never understood it, but he's always pitched differently. And I think that was the one positive that Terry Francona had with him so far this season, is that he was starting to understand, hey, I can get deeper in the game if I don't throw so many pitches early on.
Andre, you're close to the action down there. You can almost feel the players as they blow by you there. Any idea just what's the frustration level you gauge from Bauer?
It's very high.
9.9 out of 10?
It's a 9.9. It's about as high as it gets. And even Terry took him to the side. I don't know if you guys were able to catch it on the camera, but there was a long talk in between the innings between Trevor and Terry Francona that was hidden in one of the small crevices here in Oakland.
Well, the reason I ask is because, as Rick pointed out, he gave up the triple to Davis, and he had Alonso with 2 strikes. Looked like he had him struck out, didn't get the call, and the inning unraveled, obviously, from there on out.
He hates the word maturity, but let's use it. And I think and Terry's been very careful when he's jumped him about, showing his emotion. But I think those are one of those times you got to be a leader and not show emotion.
Lonnie Chisnall couldn't get to it. Throws to second. They'll get the force. Well, that worked out well. That's a tough play for a right fielder. It's off the end of the bat. You got a long way to go. Perfectly placed into no man's land, but it's also a tough play for Alonso, the runner at first.
He's got to sort of sit right there. He doesn't know if he's going to catch it or not, and he was about halfway. And there's not much more you could do, because if he catches the ball and you go any farther, it's going to be a double play, throw behind you. So there's not a whole lot you can do in that situation.
Well, that's 2 down. It brings up Brett Eibner.
Getting back to Andre, he wants to be more consistent. Well, it's a humbling game, baseball, isn't it? Comes off a career high 13 strikeouts and then dropped a bomb in the second inning here. 5 runs. Those are tough to come back from. They were down 5-0 yesterday before you know it. 3 in the first, and they were able to add on a 2-spot back in the third. And you know, you can't. It's happened to the Indians a lot more recently, you know, where they've been down early and they've had to come back from a lot of ball games.
Broken bat, base hit in the right. Runner stops at second. Healy pulls in there. And Oakland has 2 on with 2 out.
Well, there goes the bat. Or at least part of it. That goes to right field. That's a base hit. So runners now at first and second with 2 outs.
So often in baseball we focus on the individual because of the way the game is built statistically. But it is still in the end a team game.
Yeah.
And you look at this inning, or not this inning, this game. You know, Trevor Bauer gives up the long fly ball to Chris Davis. Okay, he didn't make a quality pitch there, but then Lonnie Chisenhall's right fielder, he gets pinned up against the wall. So instead of that being a double, now it's a triple. And it just kind of changes. One little play like that can change the course of an inning. Then you don't get a call. Then a guy, you know, misplays a pop-up on the infield.
It just starts snowballing
Yeah.
on you. Well, it's a team game played by individuals. And when it's going good, everything is smooth and it looks great. When it's going bad and it's frustrating, everybody starts, you know, playing for themselves, it seems like. Santana had a bad play. He's looking up into the sun. This sky is difficult. Not saying it's easy, but plays that should be made, you give them extra outs and it comes back, and that'll come back and hurt you. That one ended up costing them 2 runs.
Max Muncy takes the ball and 2 strikes.
But I mean, we're here in the 5th inning, or excuse me, in the 3rd inning, and Bauer's at 72 pitches.
I hadn't noticed. Now the 1-2. Big curveball and misses. Well, here is what happens, though. You talked about the efficiency. Andre mentioned he's really feels comfortable that he's getting to that point, but he gets a hitter down 0-2 and he's just not quite able to put him away quickly, and that's what every pitcher strives for. You get a guy down 0-2, you want to put him away quickly. Pops him to left, and Geyer makes the catch, fighting the sun. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We've played 3, Oakland 5, Cleveland nothing.
Hey fans, we're
Lead off the fourth inning for the Cleveland Indians as we get a look at Arcia in the driver's seat. Lonnie over his last 11 games. Dozen runs driven in. You know, since the All-Star break, he's been consistently swinging the bat well, batting .299 with 10 doubles, couple of homers, 20 runs driven in. Kendall Graveman delivers, and it's fouled off by Chisenhall.
Graveman now, after his shutout against the White Sox, has thrown 13 straight scoreless innings.
Broke his bat. That's going to drop for a hit.
Well, there's a case where you make a good pitch 0-2. It costs you a bat, but he gets a base hit. So Chisenhall with a leadoff single.
All right, let's go back to the studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Now batting, number 6, Brandon Guy.
I'm sure Yankees fans are wondering what took so long. Those young players have come up and had quite an impact for New York already. Double play ball hit to short. It's the second baseman with the shift on who makes the play. Max Muncy grabbed it, kicked the bag through to first. 2 quick outs.
Yeah, it wasn't hit very hard, but where they were playing, they had Muncy over on the left side and just played perfectly. High throw, but he gets the double play.
And it will bring up Tyler Naquin, who flied out his only time up. This marks 18 out of 28 games for Oakland in which they've played a first place team. So they've been on a pretty rugged stretch. They've gone 6-11 in those games. Texas, Chicago, Oakland, Cleveland, St. Louis, and Houston.
Yeah, they have a weird schedule too, because they were in Texas and then went to Chicago. And this is their middle leg of their road trip, because they leave tomorrow and they go play St. Louis and Houston. So they're only here for the 3 days. They were on the road. This is sort of weird.
5-series stretch, 5 different cities: Texas, Chicago, Oakland, back home, St. Louis, Houston. Well, the Indians go quickly here in the 4th. It remains 5-0 Oakland.
$15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. They are located in the family deck out of Progressive Field, home to the expanded kids clubhouse. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Oakland leading it 5-0. Bottom of the fourth, Chad Pinder to lead it off. It is no secret here in the Bay Area, or for that matter around baseball, that the Oakland A's have been looking for a long time for a solution to their stadium problem. The Oakland Coliseum, ever since the Raiders moved back here, is virtually regarded as the worst stadium just for baseball purposes. And they've been looking, trying to find ways. What can they do? Can they rebuild a stadium here? Could they find a spot elsewhere? And they've been down this road so many times that you almost hear any rumor or hear a story, and I'm sure Oakland fans just kind of say, yeah, right. Show me when it's actually done. But story in the San Francisco Chronicle today reporting that A's co-owner John Fisher, who is the majority owner of the club, but a silent partner. You never hear from him. He's never around. Lou Wolf is the managing partner of the club. He's the guy you always hear about. But John Fisher reportedly expected to join local officials to go and scout out a new location for a possible stadium for the Oakland A's. And the location is near an area that had been discussed before, Jack London Square. But this is a waterfront location, and reading through the story, there are quotes from people who are not allowed to speak publicly, so they're speaking on the condition of anonymity. But they're saying that there's more to this than we've had in the past. It's a matter of the two sides getting together, getting it done, the city officials obviously and the A's officials. But that would be interesting if the A's could find a spot here in Oakland where they wouldn't have to move.
Sure. Be great for them.
And then that would also solve the problem of the Raiders, because the Raiders want their own home, which they'd be free to kind of take this and do whatever they want to do it. They could probably maybe blow it up and start all over again. Who knows?
Well, the A's certainly do need a ballpark in their own. This is the only one left, isn't it, where that's a two-sport facility.
And really, it's, we've talked about this so many times before when we've come here, but when they put up the structure in center field, this no longer was a baseball facility.
Right.
Danny Valencia 1 for 2. Thanks to a gift call by the scorer. And then he flies to deep center for out number 2.
Well, you remember down in L.A. with the Angels when they enclosed that.
Yep.
And they had the football
very
team
similar.
There. It was terrible. And
once,
it was enclosed.
Once the Rams left, they redid it and made it a great baseball park. But this is just, I mean, they've had to deal with it and make do, but it certainly has not been ideal. As outlined in the story, though, some of the problems with the site have to do with, you've got a waterfront site, so there are a lot of regulatory hurdles that have to be cleared, and there's a lot more that goes into it than just saying, I like this spot, we'll take it.
Right. that meets the eye.
Yeah.
Didn't you say the same thing happened to the Warriors because they were going on the other side of the bay, on the San Francisco side?
That's what doomed their new facility there. And now they're looking at a new spot, I think, in Mission Bay for the Warriors.
Well, there's more that goes into it than meets the eye that people hear about, or that is written in a lot of these stories.
The two-strike pitch from Bauer is popped in the air to right. Lonnie Chisenhall drifting back and makes the grab. We've played 4 in Oakland. It's the A's 5, the Indians nothing. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. Back here in Oakland, Indians down 5-0, and it will be Roberto Perez to lead it off. Then Michael Martinez and Carlos Santana do up third. Kendall Graveman with a first pitch strike.
Well, what's new? 15 out of 17. And, you know, he just continues to pound the strike zone. Yep. 8-0-2 counts out of those first pitch strikes. So
chopped up the middle, cut off by the shortstop Pinder. One down.
Well, you talk about Graveman. He's been aggressive. He lets that ball do whatever it wants to do. It's moving all over the place. Very aggressive, throwing strikes, getting outs on 3 pitches or less. And it's made it look easy to this point. Only 2 hits. The only guy with hits. No, I'm sorry, 3 hits. Chisenhall broke his bat and got a hit when he was down on the count 0-2.
Michael Martinez grounded out his only time up. Popped in the air to left. Over near the line is Eibner. 2 down. Our T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball. Kelvin Herrera taking over the closer's role for the Royals since Wade Davis went on the DL. And he has done a dynamite job in that Kansas City bullpen is up to its old tricks.
Look at that. No runs allowed in the last 32 innings. And, well, we know Herrera. He has the stuff to be a closer, but has always been the setup man. But has stepped right in and hasn't missed a beat for the Royals.
Kansas City trying to run their win streak to 10 in a row tonight down in Miami.
Yeah, they have their work cut out for them.
Carlos Santana slaps a base hit up the middle.
Well, even though they had 3 men on the right side, he was able to find the hole to get it into the outfield. So a 2-out base hit keeps the inning going for Jason Kipnis.
Kipnis fouling it off. And he's got a fly ball to right, and that'll do it. Halfway through, Oakland 5, Cleveland 0. Oakland will send Chris Davis, Yonder Alonso, and Ryan Healy to the plate here in the 5th against Trevor Bauer. Pitch outside, ball 1. Fouled right back. That time he might have went, and he did, says first base umpire Clint Fagan.
Check it out from the side view, and he certainly did.
Hit the mound and a crazy carom right to Jason Kipnis. 1 away. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Second inning started with a triple. Then strike 3 was not strike 3. A walk to Alonso. Healy knocked 1 home. Muncy knocked 1 home. A sac fly made it 3-0, and then Santana lost a pop-up. 2 more scored, and that's been it. Indians bats once again have been silent.
Yeah, by rights it should be a 3-0 game from that inning. They were given a couple extra runs in that inning.
Weak ground ball to Kip. 2 down. Still plenty of baseball to be played. Any concern over how Oakland has been able to just completely shut down the Indians' offense?
Yeah. Well, it can happen at any time. I mean, you take it for granted when you're swinging well. And how many times in the course of that homestand did we say, boy, 2 strike hits, 2 out hits, 2 out runs. I mean, they were clutch for a long time in that 11-game homestand. They were 8-3, and we're saying, now just remember, it doesn't happen like this all the time. They're fortunate enough to win the first game of this series here because of Carrasco pitching a gem, a 4-hit gem, and they won 1-0.
In the air to center field, Tyler Naquin. Trevor Bauer has retired 5 in a row. We'll go to the 6th, 5-0 Oakland. Priority access for postseason tickets to any game at Progressive Field right now by purchasing 2017 season tickets. You can also get 2017 opening day priority, access to the Tribe Rewards program, and much more. Visit Indians.com/postseason or call the Indians at 216-420-HITS today. Jose Ramirez lifts the fly ball to center field. 1 pitch, 1 out. Andre Knott.
All right, I got a question for Arch. We've watched Graveman now twice go against the Indians lineup and not dominate them, but have a very good outing versus them. What's the best way to attack a guy that's got a sinker like this that's working for him? Because it seems like this is all he's throwing against the Indians right now.
Well, he's not a strikeout pitcher to begin with, and he's a contact pitcher. He's been ahead in the zone. I'd get aggressive with him, you know, unless you just can't hit it. He's been pounding the strike zone, and he's had some outs. He's had a lot of guys 0-2. I think 8 or 9 0-2 counts, so you got to get aggressive with him. And if you're going to make out, he's throwing strike one after strike one.
The amazing thing is he didn't have these numbers earlier in the season. It just seems like everything's turned on for him over the last 2 months.
Well, it has. 1-6 he started out the year, you know, and you get a little confidence, and you never know what can happen. He's been on some kind of roll. He's 8-2 in his last 15 starts. He was 1-6 with an ERA of over 5 in his first 9. So he has flipped it around. He's been very good. I mean, this guy, he has good stuff and he trusts it. He lets his defense work, and they're playing much better defensively as a team as well. So if I was a hitter, I'd try and be a little more aggressive against him.
Mike Napoli was hit in the first inning. Indians had 2 on with 2 out. Lonnie Chisnall flied out to end that inning. And then in the third, Napoli came to bat with a runner at first and 2 down and flied to center.
You know, you look about sinker ballers or ground ball pitchers. Look, when you're hitting them at people, and the Indians have had a few balls hit on the nose at people today, that's one thing. But boy, when you can find some holes, that's a different story.
It's only the second strikeout today for Graveman, but there are 2 down in the inning.
Comes back, makes a nice pitch, and gets the call this time on the outside edge. You know, in his last start in Cleveland, he was breezing until there was an error. There was a 1-out error made by Marcus Semien at short, and that's when the Indians scored and ended up taking advantage of that game. He had a 3-0 lead going in. It was a 3-1, and then the error, and the Indians had a big inning, and they won that ball game.
It's in there. He didn't think it was in there.
No. Well, it's about 2 feet long, that glove.
And a 1-2 is ripped foul down the right side. Nice.
Yeah, one hopper off the chair.
Never spilled a drop. That right there is a professional. Vogt out to talk with Graveman. They want him to sign a contract and see if they can get him in uniform. Here's the 1-2. Lonnie rolls over, and the Indians go in order. Middle of the 6th. Still 5-0 Oakland.
For the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards, and today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Lonnie. Let's go to Indians.com, season tickets for complete details.
Right by Bauer, but Kipnis is there to scoop it up, throws him out. September 10th, it's the Memorial Shoreway Neo Cycle Night Ride presented by Cuyahoga Community College. Neo Cycle is Cleveland's cycling and outdoor festival presented by Ohio Savings Bank. For more information, go to neocycle.org. Max Muncy takes a strike. He is 1 for 2 on the day.
Trevor Bauer has retired 8 of the last 9 hitters he has faced.
Swung on and missed. Terrific curveball. Third strikeout for Bauer. 2 down here in the 6th inning.
We're going to make this our Circle K strikeout. Comes back with a good curveball. Starts out about shoulder height and see where it ends up, down around the knees. And Muncy couldn't catch up to it. He swings and misses. And for Bauer, that is his 3rd today.
Chad Pinder drove in a run with a sac fly in the 2nd. And a big curveball misses down low. And a base hit into left field for Pinder. That snaps a string of 7 in a row retired by Bauer.
There's another pitch. It looked like maybe but a changeup right there that he left up in the zone. He's been down recently, so that's been the first mistake he's made in a while. And again, they take advantage of it. Hitters that find a way.
Jake Smolinski has 2 hits. He has scored a run. He's now hit in 7 straight games for Oakland. And he looks at a ball up high, and after that base hit by Pinder, the Indians bullpen springs into action. Jeff Manship, who was up earlier today, getting loose once again. Checked his swing. Perez pounces on it. Side is retired. 6 in the books. Oakland 5, Cleveland nothing. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. By Ford, built Ford tough. And by Firelands Regional Medical Center. The famous Golden Gate Bridge. 5-0 Oakland as the Indians try to get some offense going, but one pitch is bounced right back to Graveman. One quick out.
Well, Kendall Graveman back in Cleveland. This is the 7th inning I was talking about. It would have been 2 outs and nobody on. And then all of a sudden comes a base hit. And then everything started to go crazy. Then they go to the bullpen. There were 2 men on. And then Kippy gets a base hit off Zepchinski. A run scores. And, you know, the inherited runners were able to come around and score in that inning. And they ended up winning 5-3.
Tyler Naquin takes a strike over the outside corner. Earlier this year, back on April the 20th, the A's were playing at Yankee Stadium. And an odd wave of events led to a rare occurrence in Major League Baseball. In that game, Kendall Graveman was pitching. But Danny Valencia, who had started the game at third base, had to leave. He had a hamstring injury. That forced Chris Coghlan to go from second base to third. Jed Lowry, who was the DH, had to leave the DH spot and go to play second base. And when the DH goes into a position, you lose the DH. So Kendall Graveman had to bat cleanup.
Oh, yeah.
He became the first starting pitcher to bat cleanup in a game since Babe Ruth in 1920.
Get out of here. Is that right? Well, my next question will be, did he get any hits?
He did not. He was 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Naquin grounds out, 2 down. But he can say, I was the first guy since Babe Ruth to bat cleanup as a starting pitcher.
Yeah, and I played in the league that had a DH. Believe it.
Yeah.
Number 55, Roberto.
It'll bring up Roberto Perez, who walked in the 2nd and grounded out in the 5th. Sure, as he gets older, he'll embellish the story. My manager thought so much of me. He put me in the cleanup spot. Perez drives one to deep right. Back is Valencia. It's over his head and off the top of the wall.
It's a homer, I thought. I thought it hit the stairs and came back.
Well, the ruling on the field is that it's a double. We might get a challenge here from Terry Francona.
No question, because is it Fagan at first base? He didn't see it.
Well, maybe somebody else had a better view of it.
It was over the fence, man. It hit the stairs and came back. Let's check it out. Watch. No question. That's off the stairs.
Umpires
and
getting
for Perez,
together.
He won't be able to make the trot. He'll have to go from first base and trot around. They're going to look at it.
Evidently.
I guess nobody saw it.
No,
Yeah, it's a home
home run.
No question.
Brian Gorman signals home run. He's the crew chief. And the Indians are on the board, and out comes manager Bob Melvin. He could ask them to look at it, and they probably will. But Brian Gorman might say, no, I saw it go over the fence.
Well, that's true. He could go out and ask him. You know, he could challenge it. And that's what they're going to do. So let's take another look at it here as they're going to make their way to their monitors. Perez gets that ball and put a swing on it to right field. You're going to see it go over.
I can't tell what it hits.
I thought it hit the stairs and came right back. I thought it was over the fence and then comes back because that's a cement, so it looked like it hit the stair and came right back over. Well, this is going to be quick.
And
It's
it
a
is,
home
in
run.
fact, a home run.
Yeah.
Boy, that was weird. It was ruled not a home run. Then Brian Gorman said it was a home run. Bob Melvin said, I want to challenge it. And it's still a home run.
Yeah, and Perez gets his first of the year.
So all 3 runs in the series for Cleveland have come on solo home runs.
That is correct.
And a 2-out solo shot makes it a 5-1 ball game as Michael Martinez comes to the plate.
The
For
batter is number
Perez,
1,
his
Michael
first home
Martinez.
run on the year. Two-strike pitch. You know, I'm looking out there, Arch, now. I've never really paid attention before. Those stairs, it must have some function for football because
Yeah.
they don't really lead to anywhere if you're a baseball fan.
Right. They lead to nowhere. The stairs to nowhere.
Where do these stairs go? They go up. The 1-2. And the Oakland bullpen just now springing into action. Martinez ropes one to right field. Cut off by Valencia. And back-to-back hits for the Indians with 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, first time, and it's coming at the bottom of the order. First time in the ball game they've had 2 hits in an inning. And there's Martinez. He hits it to right field. They have 6 on the afternoon now.
Former Indian Mark Zubchinski getting loose as Kurt Young goes out for a chat. Graveman just about at the 100 pitch mark with Carlos Santana coming to the plate.
Just a short visit as the bullpen gets loose. That's what he's killing time for.
Now batting.
Now you're going to get a right-hander who joins Zubchinski out in the
Santana.
A's bullpen.
Santana had a base hit in the 5th inning. Chops one foul first base side. Boy, he was jumping on it early.
Well, there you see where the first baseman comes off the bag, and you can see that ball was foul, but it didn't miss by much. When you're playing first and you try and shuffle off when that pitcher goes home, it's tough to get your momentum and go back the other way toward the line.
Little outside, 1-1.
I can use another quick 2-pointer right here. Get right back in the game. This will be the last hitter for Graveman, I would think, any way you look at it. If he gets the out, you're fine. If he gives up a hit, he's gone.
3-1.
And we have not said that very much at all with him today.
See if he challenges him or if he'll
Well, you might
leave it up to the guy behind him in the bullpen.
No, you got to challenge him. Go at him here. Got a 4-run lead. You don't want to walk your way out of it. He only has 1 walk today. That came back in the 2nd inning, but he did it, and then he walked his way out of the ball game.
So now there are 2 on with 2 out. Graveman's day is over after he goes 6 2/3. And it will be Mark Zipchinski coming on as Bob Melvin is about to officially make the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Graveman had only given up 4 hits before the inning, but he gives up 2, including the first run, and he'll leave with 2 on and 2 out. He can win it, he cannot lose it. We'll be right back. Drop threatening. Let's take one last look. Guys in the truck picked something up on that home run by Perez. They're saying it hit there's a peg just on the other side of the fence. It didn't actually get all the way to the stairs.
Handrail there? The handrail coming down the stairs.
Yeah. Weird. All right, here's Jason Kipnis facing his former teammate Mark Zipchinski, who turns towards second, but nothing doing. Zipchinski making his 56th appearance on the year. 1 win, no losses, an ERA of 3.03. Typical Zipchinski form, 55 appearances, but only 35 2/3 innings of work. He's that lefty specialist who in all likelihood is only on to face Kipnis here. What a stop by Vogt. He threw a ball in the dirt wide of the mark.
He just threw his body right in front of it. Don't even know what he did with the glove. I mean, he just put his head down and almost like tried to smother it. Yeah, good job. Runners have to stay put.
Kipnis into the glove of Alonso at first to end the inning. Oh, the Indians look like they might have had something brewing. They do get on the board, but they strand a pair. Stretch time in Oakland. Trevor Bauer has gutted it out today. He got beat up and let down in the second inning for 5 runs. Outside of that, well, the A's have not been able to touch him much.
That's the unfortunate thing. That one tough inning, 42 pitches in the second. And then the other 5 innings, he's averaged just 12.5 pitches.
Ground ball up the middle, and it gets through. So Danny Valencia has his second hit of the game, but that's an asterisk. That'll keep his consecutive start streak alive of 8 straight with multi-hit games. But it was Valencia who hit the pop-up about 40 feet in front of home plate that Carlos Santana did not catch and allowed 2 runs to score back in the second. Ruled a hit, but it was anything but. Stephen Vogt, 0 for 3, takes a strike. I didn't look. Is that Manship again in the bullpen?
It is.
Yeah, he's up for the 3rd time today. Back out of play. Manship was up. I think he was up in that second inning when this occurred.
Yeah, routine play. In comes Santana, overruns it, starts backpedaling, doesn't catch it. 2 more runs scored. That made it a 5-run inning when it should have actually just been a 3-run inning, and out of it. Things just snowballed on Bauer in that inning. A couple of tough calls, a couple of tough breaks, and that was it. Other than that, he's been very good.
Well, also remember, you know, as it turns out, it was ruled a wild pitch, but it was a ball that Perez probably could have or should have stopped.
Should have.
That allowed that guy to get in the scoring position who scored on that.
That's right.
That misplay by Santana. So that leads to another run. So many little things in this game today. Two and two. Maybe a double play ball here. Kipnis out of the glove, flips to Martinez, bare hand grab and throw for 2. That was a thing of beauty.
Well, got the ground ball he needed, and it's to the right of Kipnis. He gets it, doesn't even take it out of the glove, just flips it out of the glove, and it was a little high, but Martinez made the barehanded grab, stepped on the base and turned it. So a nicely turned double play ball to get the 2, just what Bauer needed.
Nicely turned by 2 guys that probably haven't had a whole lot of work together either. And a ground ball up the middle. Martinez with a dive, but it just shot by him. So Chris Davis keeps the inning alive with a 2-out single.
And that's going to do it for Trevor Bauer. Terry Francona taking the walk to the mound, but I'll tell you what, Bauer hung in there. One tough inning, and that's all it took today.
He goes 6 2/3, charged with 5 runs on 10 hits. He'll leave with 1 on and 2 out here in the 7th, and the Indians down 4. We'll be right back.
Friday, September 2nd, when the Indians will take on the Marlins. You're going to enjoy $2 Budweiser cans and a block party pregame and postgame fireworks to follow that game. That'll be September 2nd. Let's go to Indians.com.
Runner at first, 2 down. Yonder Alonso, the batter. Jeff Manship now on for Cleveland. Manship making his 43rd appearance of the year. 2 wins, a loss, in the area of .294. Swinging at the first pitch. Fly ball deep left over into foul territory. Geyer, did he hold on? No, he did not.
It fell. I think when he came down around that plate area down in the bullpen, his spikes, got caught. The ball ended up coming out. It would have been a nice running catch. Here he comes. Look at those guys there. Ooh.
He never saw it. That ball hit him in the arm, on his throwing arm.
It sure did.
Wow.
Well, you're running there. You're looking up into that sun, and you can see it is a bright, sunny day.
On that angle, I'll bet he was looking straight into it.
He got there. He didn't see it.
Opponent's batting .234 against Manship. Right now he's only concerned about Alonso, trying to get him out, end the inning. Santana can't come up with it. Fair ball. Davis wasn't paying attention. He might have been able to go to third. He'll stop at second, and Oakland has 2 on with 2 out. They'll give him a base hit. Diving attempt by Santana.
Yeah, he's coming off the bag, but you have to catch that ball. Once it deflects off, he's not going to get the guy at first base. He stopped it, but it just got away from him far enough where they couldn't make the play. So Alonso gets his first hit of the day. Although he has walked twice, he's been on 3 out of the 4 times, and it'll give Healy an opportunity, who's been swinging the bat very well in this series.
First pitch strike. Ryan Healy had his first ever 3-hit game last night. Today he extended his hitting streak to 11 games with an RBI single. That made it 1-0, and Oakland has never looked back. Three and one. If he loses him, Brett Eibner would be next. High pop foul ground. Santana, a lot of room over there. Can he get to it? No.
Well, there's a lot. We talked about it in game 1. Foul territory in this ballpark. You could run forever. And I mean, it's a little different at night. When you're looking up into that bright sky into the day, you think you're going to get to those seats. You can run forever and not get there. And that's just a really tough play in daylight. This is the only park that has this kind of territory in it.
Runners go. It's ball 4. And the bases are now loaded. And Brett Eibner will be the batter. I'm trying to think, was there a ballpark that ever compared to this one, foul territory?
No, I mean, I'm trying to think of Candlestick over in the National League, but nothing in the American League like this.
I mean, understandable based on how, you know, intimate today's parks are, that it would have more foul territory. But I'm thinking even back then it was big by those standards.
Now watch the sun coming into play.
Martinez makes the grab and the inning is over. A's leave them loaded. We go to the 8th. 5-1 Oakland. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. (5-1) Oakland on top. New pitcher is Ryan Dahl. And a pitch downstairs, ball 1.
He was the losing pitcher in game 1 of this series, giving up the home run to Santana in the 8th. But all the Indians' runs in this series have been solo home runs, one each day. And that's not going to cut it.
Out of play. Count stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ramirez, Mike Napoli, Lonnie Chisenhall for the Indians. Here in the 8th. A little bit outside. The glove of Alonso again. This one was really smoked, but the A's first baseman has been impenetrable here defensively in the last couple of innings.
Well, I mean, that ball, he tried to come inside with him. Ramirez turned. He took about 2 steps out and saw he caught the ball. He had really no choice. He just didn't even have a chance to take a step, just leaped to his left and made a catch as that ball went into that long first baseman's glove. It was a nice play.
Mike Napoli takes a strike. Napoli 0 for 2. Broke his bat, popped him up. Alonso calling for it. Why not? He's catching everything else. 2 down. Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Kendall Graveman 6 2/3. He gave up 1 run on 6 hits, walked 2, struck out 2, hit a batter, gave up 1 solo homer for the only run of the game for the Indians.
Yeah, total command today. You know, he was pitching from in front. Strike 1 was very good. Had 9 or 10 hitters down 0-2 throughout the course of the day, and for a while there, all the hits came on 0-2 pitches.
Long run, nobody can get to it. There's a ball smoked to the gap. That'll get down and roll just shy of the warning track. And Lonnie, it's a close play, but he goes in sliding with a 2-out double. Yeah, that Smolinski's played a heck of a center field in this series.
Well, he cut it off. He was playing deep, cut it off, but his throw to second base, very accurate. Made it a lot closer than what it should have been. He picked that ball up right at the start of the warning track. But Chisenhall knew he was out there. He's going to go into second base and slide and get a double. 22nd double of the year. He hugs onto that base and he wasn't letting go.
Now here's Brandon Guyer 0 for 3. Guyer has really been on a tear since he came to Cleveland. In 14 games with the Tribe, he's batted .433. 3 doubles, a homer, 8 driven in, but here today he's been shut down. 3 ground ball outs. 2 of them right back to the pitcher, and the other one turned into a double play on a ground ball to the second baseman. Back over the screen. And now Guyer falls in the hole 1 and 2. Indians will head to Arlington after this game. A 3-game series against the Western Division leading Rangers awaits. A 4-game series. Forgot. The pitch popped him up. Again, a tough play, long run. It's a foul ball. Yeah, we start tomorrow night, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First 3 all-night games. Josh Tomlin, Cole Hamels will match up tomorrow. Sunday will be a 3 o'clock Eastern start. Wrap it up. Guyer down to the count 1 and 2 as catcher Stephen Vogt went out to talk with Dahl, see what he wants to throw here. Lonnie Chisenhall in scoring position. They'll go 3 on the left side of the infield, shifting on Geyer. Downstairs, 2-2. Alonso, the lone defender on the right side. He's well off the line at first, but there's a huge hole on the right side. If Geyer gets a pitch, he can shoot that way. They figure he's dead pull. On the ground anyway. Stays 2-2. And the pitch struck him out to end the inning. Middle of the 8th. Oakland 5, Cleveland 1. Max Muncy, Chad Pinder, Jake Smolinski due up for the A's. Brian Shaw getting loose in the Cleveland bullpen. The Coliseum here in Oakland began hosting the A's in 1968. But we were talking about it before, and this facility opened 2 years prior to that when the Oakland Raiders made this their new home. And it was during the 1968 NFL season when they had one of the watershed moments in television history. It occurred right here in this stadium. It was a game between the AFL's New York Jets and the Oakland Raiders. It became known as the Heidi game. It was a late season matchup between two of the AFL's best teams. The Jets came out to take on Oakland, and it was a closely contested game. It was a 4 o'clock kickoff, but at 7 o'clock Eastern time, the movie Heidi was scheduled to air. And the guy who was in the network control studio at the time didn't know what to do. The football game was running long. The movie was scheduled to start at 7. Nobody told him anything else. So at 7 o'clock, he hit the button. The movie started. The football game went away. And people were so incensed around the country watching the game, they flooded NBC with phone calls. It blew out the switchboard. Nobody could get in communication-wise. And what people missed was 2 touchdowns in the last minute of the ball game by the Raiders to overcome the Jets and win it in a huge game late in the season. And I think what people realized at that time was, if there's a game and it's going long, you stay with the game.
Leave it.
But ironically, they would meet probably about a month or so later in the playoffs, this time in New York, and the Jets would beat the Raiders. They would go on, and that was Joe Namath's famous guarantee. I guarantee we'll beat the Colts. First time the AFL won a Super Bowl, and the rest, of course, is history. But that was a huge moment for television sports that occurred right here at the Oakland Coliseum. Chad Pinder drove in a run with a sac fly in the second. He had a base hit with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Pinder, swing and a miss. And that's out number 1. And here comes Terry Francona. He'll go to Brian Shaw. We've got a timeout for a pitching change in Oakland with the A's on top 5-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Buick.
Center fielder, number 5, Jake Smolinski.
Early.
You pick.
Well, early look at the MVP candidates in the American League. I'll tell you, Altuve's having a tremendous year. Mookie Betts is right there. Of course, Encarnacion, but he DHs more than anything, and a pair of Orioles that having great years. You got to let it play out, I guess, and see. We're still a ways away, but there's some of the early candidates that are standing out. I'll pick when the season's over.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? We're under 40 games now, right?
Yes.
Brian Shaw to face Jake Smolinski. And a ground ball right at Kipnis. He goes to second for 1. Martinez on the turn. Did Santana get it? Yes, he did. And the inning is over. We'll go to the 9th. 5-1 Oakland. Here we go now into the 9th inning. Bottom third of the Indians order due up. Ryan Madson on to try and close it out for Oakland. Not a save situation, but Madson has 25 saves on the year for the A's. 51 2/3 innings of work. He's walked 15 and struck out 42. Opposition hitting .240 against him. Tyler Naquin fouling it out of play.
Looks like Almonte is on deck.
Naquin shoots one right back up the middle. And the Indians have their leadoff man aboard to start the 9th. Recapping the keys to the game courtesy of Mazda. No bats were broken out. They were broken. And Bauer had one bad inning, which he wasn't the only culprit.
No, that's true.
Abraham Almonte will bat for Roberto Perez. Roberto Perez accounting for the Indians' only run today with his first home run of the season coming back in the 7th inning.
35, Abraham Almonte.
Almonte 1 for 6 as a pinch hitter. Promptly bangs into a double play on the first pitch he sees. Yonder Alonso has been in the middle of all kinds of action for the A's.
Well, he gives them a good feed, goes right back to the base. It's going to be close at first base. We'll see if the Indians want to challenge, and it looks like they may.
Yep, they're going to challenge it. Got nothing to lose here.
Well, there's you see in your picture. Here comes the ball. There goes the foot is on the base now, and
I think he's out based on that initial look. That one's a lot closer.
well, he was called out, so you're going to have to see some convincing evidence.
Don't know that there's going to be anything that would be conclusive to overturn the call. This has been a strength for the Indians, though, this year. 22 of their 37 challenges have been overturned.
Well, it's a close play. I mean, it is bang, bang. We're just going to see that one right there. It's tough to tell. I mean, where the foot is and where he's out. They came off and call stands.
So 2 down, and Michael Martinez will be lifted for a pinch hitter as Francisco Lindor comes on to bat. I'm assuming that even though Francona wanted to give Lindor the day off, he's been bugging him probably to get in there to get one at bat. A little low. No, caught the bottom of the zone for a strike. Another small crowd here at the Coliseum for this getaway day game. But they've watched another good performance by their ball club, the A's. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Just threw his bat at it, but able to fight it off.
Well, Madsen has an excellent changeup. I mean, he picks this ball up off the ground to stay alive. Look at, he could barely, his feet didn't move. He just reached out there and fouled it off.
And a line drive, base hit to left by Lindor.
Well, how nice was that stroke? Reach out and touch someone right there. He goes down and hit a beautiful pitch to left field. There you'll see it. That was the fastball, and he stayed back on it nicely, and fouling off that pitch before. That made it seem like it was an inside pitch, how he got to that one.
I'll just say this. If there are any ad executives that worked in the 1970s out there, you should all be proud of yourselves. Because every jingle you people wrote is stuck in my partner's head. Get a piece of the rock, whatever it is, whatever they threw out there, you know them all. That means those people were really good at what they did. Carlos Santana trying to keep it alive now. Pops it up, foul, out of play.
You got your wish. The game is not over, so let's get it in. You got your wish.
I didn't wish it. I just thought
that's the worst call in the world. You didn't wish it. Valencia is now E3, no ribbies.
All right. That was a play. If you're just tuning in and wondering, what are these clowns talking about? Back in the second inning, when Trevor Bauer gave up 5 runs, he should have been out of the inning. It was a 3-0 game, but a pop-up that Carlos Santana, he just overran it. He came in, he should have made the play, he didn't, and 2 runs scored on that pop-up and made it a 5-run inning. And it was originally ruled a 2-run single. Now changed to an error. So Valencia loses a hit and 2 RBIs. Right now, the only thing of importance is the Indians trying to keep this game alive somehow. What that does for Trevor Bauer's final line is a little more manageable too. He went 6 2/3, 9 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned. And based on the way he gutted it out after that, that's pretty rewarding for him. I don't know. And that is that. The Indians fall flat in Oakland, managing 3 runs in 3 games on 3 solo home runs. And the A's take 2 out of 3 from the Central Division leaders. Kendall Graveman is the winner today. He goes to 10-8. And the loss goes to Trevor Bauer, who falls to 9-6. The Indians head to Texas. Now 19 games over 500, 72-53. Oakland goes to 55-72. And, you know, the Tigers, they'll play later on. They can close the gap to 5.5 games if they win later tonight. All right, time for the Pat O'Brien play of the game.
Well, we go, and we talked about it, that second inning, and there's 2 outs, and it's a pop-up, 2 men on, and Bauer's going over there, and Santana just overruns it as he's backpedaling. It falls on the infield. It scored an error. No RBIs, but 2 come around to score. That made it a 5-run inning, and that was all they needed again for the, you know, last 2 games. They score early, they jumped on them early. The Indians, no offense.
Let's put it this way: it shouldn't have been that big a deal, but the way they were just kind of going about their business in this series, it was all but over at that point.
Yes, it was.
So the final is Oakland 5, Cleveland 1. We'll have some final thoughts right after this.